what do you attribute this success to? And, like, tell us what, we're a year down the road and you've done what no one else has done. Well, great day, everybody. This is Phil Hahn, and I'm sitting here with Jeff Matheson in Ottawa, Ontario. And Jeff has just finalized his first 12 months, his first year in real estate. He partnered with us just over a year ago at eXp Realty. And we're proud to say that he is now the #1 agent at eXp Realty Ottawa for units sold on the MLS system for the 12-month period ending June 2022, as well as a top 1% realtor out of 3,800 agents in the Ottawa Real Estate Board. And Jeff, welcome to the call. And my goodness, what do you attribute this success to? And, like, tell us what, we're a year down the road and you've done what no one else has done. I mean, in their first year, it's absolutely incredible. And we are so delighted to be in business with you. And I'm kind of flabbergasted. So tell me about, let's review the year.
Yeah. Thanks, Phil. I think the journey started well before I finished my license. The blueprint was in place. You and I started talking, I think probably 6 months before I got my license. And having you as that mentor right away was incredible. Having the best mentor that I think is in the industry, being able to set that blueprint in place right away before I actually went live with my license. So I knew day one, what I was going to do and hit the ground running. And that was really, key for my success early for sure. So then once I got my license and I got going, having you to bounce everything off, having you to tell me exactly what I should be doing on a day-to-day basis, that's key. So I think having that mentor is really important for new agents and for all agents really, but having someone like yourself that has that 20 plus years of experience, top performer, doing what you're doing here at eXp as well is phenomenal. And I'm just so blessed and lucky to have you in my corner. So that's been, paramount to all my success. Training's important too. So having 80 hours of live training every single week has been phenomenal. Plugging into the top agents globally for training has been super important. So I think those two things, the mentorship and the training is key. I think, lead generation, as you've always told me, it's a lead generation game. And I lead generate, as you know, Phil, every single day. I don't miss a day. And I think that's really important. I think some people can find maybe reasons not to lead gen. And I've been very diligent on my lead generation every day, heavy on the phones, make a lot of phone calls. I do a lot of farming door to door. Phil, you and I talk about being belly to belly with people. And I think that's where the success is too. I see a lot of, especially newer agents, a lot of texting, maybe relying on social media. And I feel that getting out, meeting people, talking to people on the phone, sitting down with them, having a coffee, I think that's key to my success. And then what you really taught me is leverage. Leverage has been really key for me. I think I had a hard time at the beginning, Phil, is letting go and bringing other people onto my team. And once I hired Sarah Caldwell as my operations manager, I did that in my 3rd month. You wanted me to do that after my 1st month, and you and I kind of battled that a little bit. But once I plugged Sarah in, what a game changer. That leverage there put me to a next level. In the last few months, hiring an ISA, having Ian on my team, Ian Arsenault on my team has just been phenomenal. So leveraging has been key. And now I'm leveraging with technology, and we're starting to go to even a different level right now. So I think those are 3 key areas that have been, paramount to all my success in my first 12 months.
Amazing. And, what would have a massive success have looked like? So when we started, I know that we definitely, you wanted to become an icon agent, which is that's an award with our company where once you've, reached certain production and cultural milestones, that we actually give you back your cap, that small $16,000 that you pay us, we actually give it back to you. And so we're looking back now at the year. Would you just say this was a success? Did you exceed your expectations? Do you feel like you've fallen short? Like, I want to be raw here and transparent in terms of, how could it have been better? How could it have been worse? If we're looking back and you're starting again, knowing what it is that you know now.
Yeah. I think the goals were achieved. I think when we set our goals early, we set them high, we aimed high, and we hit those. I thought 50 transactions was going to be a number that I wanted to achieve. I wanted Icon. I thought 500,000 in GCI was, a good number. and we smashed all those goals. So
Yeah.
I'm pretty happy with that for sure. I think the key thing, as I said before, is the leverage. I think I should have leveraged earlier. For a new agent, I think there's fear factor there because there's costs involved. But I feel that if I leveraged earlier, I probably could have had more units sold and definitely more GCI for sure.
And by the way, what does that look like for units sold, Jeff, in your first 12 months in real estate? And by the way, Jeff is brand new to real estate. Not only was he new to EXP, he's brand new to real estate. What was that first 12 months for unit sales?
Yeah, units sold 76 and
Okay.
total GCI was 850,000.
So gross commission income of 850,000. So you fell short about 150,000 of the $1 million stretch goal, but
Yes,
I'm sure you're going to crush that in 2022. So absolutely. Yeah, that's fantastic. And so tell, what is a typical day like? Now we've done about, I think this is our third update since you've partnered with us at EXP. What does a typical day look like for you, now versus when you started in terms of discipline and
yeah,
your family? Obviously, you have a beautiful wife and son, and
yeah.
you're the top selling agent in your community of Centerpoint and Nepean, Ontario. But what does a typical day look like? How are you keeping that balance? And we know, by the way, there is no such thing as balance. It's all about counterbalance, right?
Yeah.
Your fitness may be amazing, but you're not making any money. Your relationships with your family members can be fantastic, but you're out of shape. You're making nothing but money, but everything else is falling to the wayside. So how are you maintaining that counterbalance with such an amazing, strong first successful year, Jeff?
Yeah, I think if I look at my first 6 months, it was, basically all day long lead generation. I had time to do that. So most of my mornings were on the phone, calling in on my leads. In the afternoons, I was door knocking. I was out meeting people. Now, because, I'm much more busier than my first 6 months, I still, every single day, and you've taught me about time blocking in my calendars, every single day, I block from 9 to 12, and that's my lead generation time. I don't do anything else. So everyone knows I'm in my office and not to bug me during that time. And I make all my calls from 9 to 12, and I do that religiously. And then I have all either my showings or my listing appointments in the afternoon. I still do door knocking as much as I can. I don't have as much time for that, but door knocking to me is important. It's been very good for my business. So I just really manage my time through my calendar. I schedule time for my family as well. You have to do that. If you don't do that, you're going to get yourself in trouble. I put stuff in my schedule for fitness. Everything's in my calendar. I tell Sarah, my admin, if it's not in my calendar, I'm not going to do it. So make sure that my time blocking is really well done and very focused on my calendar.
Yeah. And we have to understand as well that life happens and we are very much in an opportunity driven business. And, we have to also be flexible in our approach at times and learn to erase and replace. Right. And, sometimes you've got to do that. Right. You've got to be flexible, but, kind of steady to your goals as well. So it's a fine counterbalance, shall we say. And so your administrative help, which I know Sarah's been fantastic. And as we know in real estate, about 80% of the real estate transaction and the process is administrative in nature. How much of a success has that been for you with that first key hire?
Yeah, that gave back so much time because what I was doing was lead generating all day. And then once I started getting transactions, I spent, many late nights doing all the administrative input. Having Sarah on board, who has lots of experience in the industry, she was teaching me stuff. She hit the ground running. I didn't have to train her. She was basically training me. It just freed up so much time, just unbelievable amount of time. And then I could focus on, I've got over 20 years of sales experience, and I could really focus on what I do well. And that's, getting in front of people and really, building that rapport and figuring out what their needs are. So that changed the game for me. That was huge.
And I know that you've been huge on attending events and plugging in as well, knowing that, of course, learners are earners, and we can always make excuses not to show up. But you have shown up to our key events, and how has that propelled your business, Jeff, in terms of your understanding and learning and training?
Yeah, massive. I mean, I've done this for a long time in sales where we had conventions, and what I got out of the two that I've gone to, another one coming up here in August, is the collaboration is massive. The collaboration, I've learned so much, and I just get recharged when I come back to my market away from those. The one thing I really realized too is the top people, they're accessible, basically from the CEO down, and top performers. I'll meet people that's the top performer, say in Austin, Texas, and I'll say, hey, this is my story. Can you share some secrets of your success? And by the end of the conversation, it's like, here's my card. If you don't call me, I'll be upset. I've never seen that before, and in any industry I've been in, and it's just refreshing to be around people. Like, they really want you to be more successful, which is incredible.
Yeah, because we're all stakeholders and owners in the company. We do have
Yeah,
a vested interest in your success, Jeff. And a rising tide lifts all boats, right? And so, and I always say, be very, very, very careful and cautious of those that are not applauding and clapping when you're succeeding at the highest level. Those aren't your people. Right. And
yeah,
so, you've experienced some of that as well in your local marketplace by being such a quick success out of the gate that, not everybody's always going to love you, right? It's oftentimes actually what we find is that it's easier for people to resent someone that's achieving at a high level than to reach out to them and say, hey, how are you doing this? Like, what is going on? I'd love to work with you and shadow you and learn, right? And instead of doing that and kind of being abundance based and learning based, they kind of say, well, oh, they must be up to no good, so I'm not going to like them, right? Because your success,
yeah,
unfortunately, may make someone feel a little inferior, right? And that's
yeah,
an unfortunate thing, but that's just that's kind of the game we're playing in these days. And so, we're looking at a new market right now as well. Like, we're
yeah,
hearing from across North America, things are dynamic. They're changing on a daily basis. I mean, you were sharing some numbers with me about your market, and I want to say, what was it that the average sold to ask ratio in the last 12 months was almost 106%. So 105.81%, I think is what you said. And
yeah.
average
Exactly.
days on market of about 17 and a half, 18 days on market. So
Yeah,
my goodness, I mean, who doesn't need a reprieve from those kind of market conditions? That's, first of all, unsustainable. And,
yeah,
it's ridiculous. And so, I think that what people need to understand is that, we're not in some crazy buyer's market by any stretch. We're not even in a balanced market. We're still in extremely strong seller market conditions for most places. Knowing that,
mhm,
of course, that if the average days on market is 6 months or less, believe it or not, it is still to the advantage of the seller. It's just that people
yeah,
have become so accustomed, Jeff, to, oh my gosh, your house has been on the market for 3 weeks and you haven't had 84 showings and 19 offers. Oh, it's a buyer's
yeah,
market, right? And
yeah.
so, how are you finding and dealing with those expectations? Because we're kind of in the midst of this new market,
Yeah.
and how are you dealing with that?
Yeah, I mean, it's challenging, there's no question, but as we talk about, there's opportunities, right? So whenever there's a shift in the market, and as we've talked about, we just talked about earlier, it's a new market, not a shift. There's opportunities. So sellers, it's just educating them, sitting down with sellers that are getting new listings out there, really educating on what's going around in their neighborhoods and showing them the data. Uh, Education is key for sellers. The buyers, I feel like there's a huge opportunity right now for buyers. I've been really focused on listings. I have an ISA that really takes care of the buyers and getting them set up. But I've kind of gone back to buyers a little bit in the last, say, 2 to 3 weeks because there's so much opportunity there right now. Prices of houses have come down in Ottawa. They're stabilizing. So there's a massive opportunity. Even though interest rates are going up and mortgage rates are going up, prices on houses have come down. So for buyers, we're not seeing the multiple offers. We're not seeing these huge over asking prices. So I feel like there's a huge opportunity in the market for buyers. And I don't listen to the negativity. I talk to realtors all day long and they're saying, Jeff, I don't know if I'm going to make it this year. And this is going to be a challenging year. I feel like, to me, there's just more opportunity and I'm going to go get my unfair share.
That's right. Yeah, and market share gained in a shifting or new market is never lost, right? That's another cool thing, right? Is so when people are going to start, contracting, saying, "Oh my gosh, we need to spend less, we need to do this." You actually want to spend more and go out and get more market share,
Yeah.
and so pretty exciting stuff. So Jeff, you've also grown a team, of agents that you've referred Um, to your model over the last year, and what does that look like now? How many agents is that you've referred, and how's that been going?
Yeah, I have 9 right now, and
Wow.
most of them are located here in the Ottawa area. So they've been a huge boost for my business as well. As I mentioned earlier, I'm really focusing on listings. That's the side of the business that I enjoy the most. So I've been able to focus more on listing. My ISA is working with the people that I've brought on board and giving all the buyer leads to them. So we have a referral program with them. They're getting excellent leads and they're working the buyer side. And that's changed my whole business. I can focus more time on listings. And I've seen a huge growth in my business once I've been able to bring some people on for support.
Right. Amazing. Amazing. Well, leverage, right? It's the ultimate form of leverage. And that's fantastic. And yeah, and it was, people will often copy the innovation, but they're not going to copy the hard work that it takes.
Yeah.
So, Jeff, we're looking, now we're a year down the road. You just finished your first year. June was the end of your first year. What does success look like for you a year from now? Where's that going to be?
Yeah, I mean, you and I've talked about numbers. I feel like, given the year I've had and the momentum that I'm building, it's definitely a momentum game, real estate. I feel like I can get to 2 million GCI after my next 12 months, 150 plus transactions. I want to continue to grow my team, grow people here in the Ottawa area for sure. That's going to support my business. I'm going to really leverage a lot more on the technology side. Technology is our friend, and we're using it more and more in the last few months to really help the business. So I'm going to leverage technology, leverage more people, but I really think 2 million GCI is a goal that I've got for the next 12 months.
Right. Well, I think it's definitely achievable. In fact, I think it may be light, to be quite frank. And Jeff, I know, again, we're at that 1 year, that crucial 1 year mark now. And you had interviewed before, deciding to partner with us at EXP. You'd interviewed Keller Williams and Remax and Coldwell Banker and Sotheby's and a bunch of those traditional bricks and mortar franchise models. And how do you feel now about that decision of partnering with, our cloud-based, company versus the traditional bricks and mortar franchises?
Night and day. I can't even explain it, to be honest. It's just unbelievable what is offered here. The mentorship is key. It starts with you, Phil, but everybody that you've connected, you're the ultimate connector. Everyone you've just picked up the phone and said, "Hey, here's Jeff," and having those conversations. I know I wouldn't get that anywhere else. The franchise model is very more localized. We're a global business. We don't have that franchise model. So picking up the phone and calling somebody, as I said, in Austin, Los Angeles, Vancouver, Toronto, anywhere in the world, the people that you're connecting me with that have that experience, that is, I can't compare that to anywhere else that I interviewed at.
Yeah.
The training is massive. One of the things that I noticed when I was talking to other brokerages is that it was train the trainer. It was a trainer who's never sold before. They were trained to be a trainer.
Yeah.
And getting training from the top, agents globally, icon agents that are in the trenches every day, that are, posting, unbelievable numbers, and getting that training from those type of people, that's, a major difference for sure.
Yeah.
So I think those people, sorry, go ahead.
No. And I know you also, you actually hire yourself a private coach as well.
Yeah.
To assist with the business. And I know that relationship has been instrumental for
absolutely.
your growth and knowing your numbers and systems and leverage and all those amazing pieces. Jeff, you know what? It's an absolute privilege and honor to be in business with you. And, I can honestly say I don't know of any agent that's ever had the success in their first year in business that you have had. I've never seen it personally. And, I think that you bring a tremendous work ethic and humility to the game with an unbelievable competitive nature that you want to win, and do best by your clients and family and do what's best for your family. And congratulations as well on being the number one agent in your, in your marketplace at EXP and of course in your local neighborhood of Centerpoint, which is fantastic. Yeah. And, what are some leaving remarks you can share with, anyone that's wanting to take their business to another level or someone that's new in the business,
Yeah, like I said earlier, find that mentor, work hard to find a mentor that's going to be there for you, that's going to show you exactly, what to do. Like Phil, all my success is because of you. Like I've talked to you so many times. At the beginning, it was multiple times a day. So, my success is because of what you've taught me. And I'm blessed. I'm blessed that you introduced me to EXP. It's changed my life. There's no question. And it's only going to get better. So I think the mentorship is the key thing. Find that mentor that's going to be there for you, that ultimately has your best interest and has the experience to walk you through real estate. I've been in sales for 20 years, but real estate is a total different model, a different animal. And I just said, listen, blank slate. I need to be taught the new game that I'm in. So finding that mentor is going to be key for anybody getting into the industry. And then training. Make sure you're getting a lot of proper training and that you're understanding how to sell real estate properly.
Yeah. Amazing. Jeff, how can people reach you to, to be mentored by you and to learn from you and how it is that you've done this incredible, feat?
Yeah, as you know, I'm available anytime. You can call me. My cell phone number 613-404-5700. Give me a call. I'm happy to help, happy to have a conversation and talk more about, my successes early here in the real estate industry.
Yeah. And for curious veterans as well, just be curious, be curious, like find out, hey, how's this guy coming in and, doing 76 or 77 transactions in his first year and over 850,000 in commissions in his first year. Truly, truly remarkable, Jeff. And so proud of you. You and I go back, my goodness, 35 years, 36 years, 37 years. And from when we were skiing as kids and Edelweiss and Camp Fortune and having all that fun in Blackburn Hamlet. But it's just incredible to see your massive success and what you've accomplished. And you're truly in your infancy still. That's the coolest part, right? I mean, you're always learning, you're always coming to training sessions, you're always plugged in. And again, I can't emphasize anymore that learners are earners, and the people that plug in are the ones that tend to have it going on. And so you're a fine example of that. So amazing.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Phil. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. And have an amazing day, everybody. Thanks for joining us. Take care. Bye-bye. Have a great day.